And then they want you to just be able to like sign back into your account, and you're like, I can't. I just want to cancel. I don't want to go through signing back into my account that's locked.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm not signing in again. Fuck you guys.
It's just so.
They won't let you do that?
No, like they did eventually, but it's like it takes a phone call, and that's just.
You had to call Apple?
Yeah. To call customer service to cancel.
You can actually call them.
I don't know, Laura.
I've never even tried to call Apple.
She did. I'm sure she did it on the premise of being locked out of the account.
I wouldn't.
But she's like, don't help me sign back in. Just cancel.
I don't want to sign in. Do not want to sign in.
I can't sign back in. I don't own an Apple product, and this is why.
This is why. Because you guys are assholes. Huh. So I set up a mirror so I can
see yourself.
Well, so I can see the camera. At least that was the theory. This mirror's not, it's not fantastic. It's not really high enough to give me like a legit viewpoint on the screen.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking it would be useful to be able to see the screen. But it really doesn't. I don't think it really matters that much. The mirror was cheap as fuck, so I hope my phone is waterproof. I think it is.
They all say they are, but it's always.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Those scallywags. Actually, let's see. This is a good test. Does the board get in the way? Yeah. That's not great. It's not like in the way, but it's definitely crowds the space. So today's kind of sound check, viewpoint check, you know?
Yeah. Check, check.
Check, check. We have a decent amount of I didn't realize we ran dry on sausage.
I know. It's unfortunate. I didn't know that that's what you needed to know when you said, send me what I need from Costco.
I mean, I should have caught it myself yesterday. I never blame you, Pete.
I thought we just always needed meat.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it too. I was like, I should grab a couple bags of meat. Like, I did not.
I pressed those sausage patties while I was cooking eggs. They were already seasoned as sausage.
Yeah. So I'll cook some sausage and some heart-to-hearts. They ain't gonna hurt.
Or we could just cook chorizo 2 days in a row. Should be fine. There's a bin in there to take today, so.
Oh, wow. Val Kilmer died.
Yeah, I saw that. He was only like 60 something.
Dude, yeah, 61. No, 65.
Which, like, as big as he was in the 90s, I kind of thought he was older than that.
Dude, pneumonia.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's kind of crazy.
That's one of those ones, dude. It'll fucking get you, bro. Like, you think you just have like the flu or something and like, nah, I'm not gonna go to the hospital.
Right. 3 days later, you're way worse, and then it's.
And
not.
then you
And
fucking die. Yeah.
They can't.
It's like I almost did myself.
They can't get you back.
I don't know, dude. That time I'm pretty like I had pneumonia, dude. That
I mean, you also didn't lie down.
was a good like gut check for me. Like,
You're
dude.
not 25 anymore.
Well, you know, yeah, I'm not 25, and then like,
You do actually have to rest when you get sick.
just you know, if the flu's bad enough or whatever, like actually go to the go to the doctor, go to the hospital or whatever, because I don't know, I'm pretty sure I was.
Well, now they have the pneumonia vaccine for old people.
Do they?
I don't know if it's all pneumonias, but I hear the ad for pneumococcal pneumonia, and I don't know if there's different ones, but I don't know. But I just hear an ad that, yeah, they're like, for seniors who are at risk of pneumonia, pneumococcal pneumonia, get this vaccine.
Well, that's cool. Since
It's one of those things that
we'll be seniors before
I
we
don't
know
have
it.
to think about. You know, I always feel like I got another 20 years, you know,
No.
before I have to care.
No.
but-
It's gonna be here fucking tomorrow, Pete.
Yeah. So by then, I feel like they will have full on senior vaccine. You know.
You know, that's what's fucked about getting older is time. So this is like, this drops into data science, right? You remember algorithms for life? So it's not that our brains compute slower as we get older. I mean, there is some degradation, but our brains have so much compute that like a small amount of degradation, that's not the problem. We got horsepower. The processing horsepower is there. It may go down a little bit with age, but the horsepower is so much because of our brains that like, it doesn't, that's not the problem. That's not why we get scatterbrained when we're old. The problem is the data. We've got so much fucking data. Our brains record every sight, smell, taste, you fucking name it, our whole life.
Yeah.
And so for our brain to go through that information, it's a lot of information to comb through. So when we try to recall things, like that's a search function of our organic brain, right? Like it takes a while. There's just so much information to sift through.
Right. And you're constantly gaining knowledge, so you're.
Yeah. So here's the thing too. Because of that, our what we perceive as time gets smaller. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Because when you're a kid, you think 20 years is forever.
20 minutes is forever because, you know, like time moves much slower when you're a kid.
Right. Well, because you've only been alive for 8
Because there's
years.
not as much information in your brain.
Well, and 8 years is your whole lifetime. And your lifetime is a long time to you.
Yes. But we get to fucking 40
40 years
and
is your
50,
lifetime.
all of a sudden there's 40 years of motherfucking time in there. And time moves exponentially faster.
Right.
We're like, what the hell? My kid is 5 now.
Right.
years are going by like, because it's that chunk of data is small, so becoming so small compared to the whole, right?
Yeah.
So our perception of time gets dramatically smaller. Did you do any football homework?
I mean, I heard about the rule changes that got announced yesterday.
Did you get The Athletic?
Yeah,
You did.
I did.
Did you start reading some articles on the Patriots feed? I joined the damn Patriots feed, just so you know. Just so I'm well versed.
I know that you know that I know.
Well,
about
so I mean, we can talk about articles.
Yeah. And you'll have some core knowledge. Yeah, I mean, I played around with it a little bit. I didn't.
So did you read that article on expectations under Vrabel? I actually didn't read the article. I just saw the title.
No, I didn't read that article, but
But playoffs. They were playoffs.
playoffs. I'm just trying to win 5 games, which will be an upgrade
Playoffs?
from the last 2 years. I mean, I read the transcript of Vrabel. So they're all at the whatever meeting, the owners' meetings. are happening
Yeah,
in
so
Florida
the
right
owners'
now.
meetings have kicked off,
They're all down in
and
Florida.
they're getting all these interviews of the head coaches. Did they? Oh, so they did Vrabel let himself get interviewed there?
He did.
Oh, cool. Because I feel like Vrabel's kind of tight-lipped. He's not big on pressers either, huh?
I think they have to. I think it's one because he hasn't really done one since the initial introducing
Yeah.
him as the head coach.
Yeah. Well, I feel like in general, Vrabel's definitely one of those guys do I have to speak to the media?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. He's probably not going to say shit in his pressers either.
I mean, he doesn't. It's a happy medium between Mayo and Belichick. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well,
Because-
Belichick just...
Obviously, Belichick is the worst interview in the history of interviews.
Agreed.
Unless you want to just break down film, but nobody gets to just sit there and break down film.
Well, even then, I mean, like the Chargers commentators were kind of talking about, there's it's kind of an old school of thought. Not all especially the younger coaches don't necessarily abide by it, but the older coaches are just we will not give up any advantage possible.
Right.
So we're not going to talk about anything.
right.
You
And
know?
then Mayo, from the get-go, he was giving up way too much information.
Yeah, he was too friendly with some of the younger coaches try to manage that.
And everybody was like, well, it's just his first one or his second one. He'll realize that he messed up and
No.
he'll reel it in. And he really never did.
Staley tried the same thing. Oh no, I'm going to be candid with these guys. I'm not going to stonewall them.
Yeah.
I'll try and answer their questions.
So I feel Vrabel is a good medium between compromise between coach speak and giving you information, actually talking to you like a person.
So I'm gonna play with this dial thing on here on the microphone.
Yeah.
I just tweaked it all the way in one direction. Because I want to see the effect it has.
Right. And since you can't really see it while we're doing it.
No.
Since you're doing something
No,
else,
and I mean, we're recording. I believe we're recording.
I mean, you're just gonna watch it later and then
Yeah, it's still
kinda
recording.
Remember your tweaks and see
Yeah.
where the better setting is.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think, like, at least on my screen, like the film on this thing, dude, it looks pretty bitchin'.
But then Kraft also did an interview at the owners' meetings.
Who?
Kraft.
Kraft. Oh, wow, they got
Robert.
Kraft. Yeah, Spanos did not.
And he was like, we're gonna take a running back, a fast running back.
Shut the fuck up.
Which I'm like,
No, he's not.
he's
Yeah.
never said anything like player.
He was talking running
before.
back?
Yeah. And
Wow.
everybody was like, I mean, there's tons of running backs. That's the whole thing. Like,
You
could
think
ta-
Kraft is gonna fucking weigh in on drafting?
I don't think so. He never has before.
But Bill. I think Bill set that line. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it's my fucking team. Like, I definitely, Bill was a dictator, right?
He was
And it worked.
until
But
the last 5 years.
I don't, actually, that's a very good thing to bring up here, okay? Because the Chargers, even though Harbaugh came in, and there is an understanding that, like, look, dude, this is my program. I'm going to bring in my guys. I think Harbaugh actually learned that lesson with San Francisco somewhat. Yeah, no. I think he believes that ownership, GM, and the coach all have to work together like a team. You can't have this management hierarchy where it's just dictator, one party, be that the owner, be that the GM or the head coach saying, it's my fucking team to run, fuck all of you guys. Like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or at least, it can work. That's not to say it can't work, okay? But to breed long-lasting success, you need all three to be, like, your team is going to be as good as the GM, ownership, and the head coach work together. Like, that's a very strong influence on how good this team's going to be for long term. You might get a good season here and there running it the other way, but it's not going to last,
Yeah.
So when it comes to the Patriots, right? Like, that's not the way the Patriots operated. Bill was the dictator. Bill was like, I'm going to do it the way I fucking do it. Everybody can shut the fuck up.
Right. So then, like, Kraft must have said that before Vrabel's interview. Because then obviously Vrabel got asked about it. And Vrabel, he defended Ramondre and Gibson. They're top two running backs on the roster.
Oh, so he was like, the running back's in my room. I got a running back room already, man.
Well, he's like, yeah, we could always use help at running back. Like any position. Like, you're
Yeah.
looking to upgrade the team. That's the goal.
Yeah.
But like, you know, a lot of people want to shit on Ramondre for the fumbles last year, but like, it takes 11 guys to cause a fumble, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
if he wasn't getting hit in the backfield or have 6 guys on him every play, like maybe he doesn't have as many fumbles. And that's my job, is to like show the guys who are blocking, like this guy from the backside, like he was the 3rd guy in, but he's the one who caused the fumble. Like,
Yeah. So Vrabel kind of pushed back on like, yeah, weapons are great, but
I think he kind of closed the door on, or tried to shut the door on, Kraft is going to pick a running back.
I mean,
And maybe
my takeaway is
Maybe they do take a running back, because both of those guys are getting older, and in running back years for sure. So they could use a rookie running back in the room. Absolutely.
I mean, either way, my take on that is, though, that ownership is participating in draft pick much more than in previous.
Than he was a few years
Yes.
ago. Yeah.
Absolutely. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Well, I mean, unless you've got like Jerry fucking Jones or some shit. Jerry Jones has gone full Al Davis.
I know. And he's not quiet about it.
No.
But then, yeah, did you see the rules? The new rules that they announced?
Yeah, so ball placement is going to be computer, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the placement is going to be done, the way I read it, was that the placement is still
I did
done
not-
by the ref.
I didn't read the article, so.
And once the ball gets placed by the ref,
I mean, they're not going to have a robot come out and like place the ball?
then once the ball's on the field,
Like an R2D2?
yeah, instead of like doing line of sight down the field and then bringing the chains out, then they're going to let the computer do it. And the computer can do it in like 20 or 30 seconds, as opposed to the chain gang taking over a minute. So at that point, it's not, I don't see it as that much more accurate. It's just slightly faster. If they're not letting the, if they're not letting the computer decide where the ball finished the play, you know, and is therefore down.
Okay, wait. Say this again? Explain this to me again?
The way I read it, and I don't know if I'm interpreting it correctly,
Because the computer
is not like watching the game all the time. But when the ref spots the ball on the field,
The ref is going to spot the ball.
and at that point they decide whether they've made the line to gain or not, and it's a first down or not, and they're going to let the computer make that decision from there. And they're just going to look at the balls here on the field. Has that made it to the line to gain or not? As opposed to running out the chains. So as far as accuracy, I don't know that it's going to be any more accurate. It's just going to be faster.
So to me,
It's not like they have a laser and they have a chip in the ball, and where the running back is downed, like that's where it is on the field. That doesn't sound like that's what it is.
so to me, one of the most important factors here is Right now, so the thing, it's the same thing with like strike zone, right? Like, there's a human making a judgment call,
Yeah.
and that's the problem.
Right.
Almost more than
The
anything.
computer could call strike zone every pitch right now, and it would be
We're not objective. You know, it's that humans are like, fuck you, I don't believe that guy.
right.
Versus a computer, it's like, hey, the machine does what the machine does. If that's where it says it's at, then that's where it says it's at. Like, it's one less thing to get angry at a human for.
Yeah. It's just half of sports, getting angry at humans.
Yeah.
Padres won again last night. Side note. Still undefeated.
Are they 6-0?
Yeah.
Boy, they're kicking shit off
It's
as hot
their
as
best-
it can be.
Their best start ever.
Yeah.
The only problem is the Dodgers are also undefeated.
The Dodgers?
Yeah.
Those sons of bitches.
It might be the first time ever or in a long time that two National League teams both started undefeated this deep in. Like we're both 6-0 or 7-0.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be kind of crazy too, right?
Yeah. No, it's definitely crazy.
I really need to get my shit together when it comes to the Padres.
Yeah. Because they're a real baseball team now. They have been for a couple years.
I know.
They're not like the minor league Padres that you grew up with.
Hey man, like I mean, I didn't grow up with Ken Caminetti, but like there was like, dude, Tony Gwynn, like Ken Caminetti, I was around for a little bit of that.
Yeah, but then
I went to a game.
very quickly after that, they were awful for a long time.
I mean, like I like Bruce Bochy. And you had Jake Peavy. Like we had this awesome pitching, but it's too bad like they wouldn't spend money when they had Bruce Bochy. Because had they probably would have won some fucking titles, dude.
Or yeah, if they could have given PV a little bit of help, because he was awesome,
Yeah, Peavy was.
but he was the only player on that team.
Peavy was a. That guy was gnarly.
And then he went to the Red Sox, which I was super stoked about, but he was not the same on the Red Sox. Not even close.
So they interviewed Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And Harbaugh was like, let's see, what are my takeaways? They asked Harbaugh directly about Loveland, and Harbaugh was like, well, I don't know. We're going to take the best player available.
Yeah, typical.
He was as tight-lipped as you could
not going to
be.
tell you anything.
He tried to show zero enthusiasm. He was like, oh, we'll probably end up playing against him.
We got a 1 out of 30 chance.
Yeah, he acted completely disinterested.
He's probably going to be a good player in this league.
Which Harbaugh is the kind of person, like, especially when somebody's played for him, like, he gets very enthusiastic about those people.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to pump those people up. But he realized, he's like, this guy could be our draft pick. They may be, he
definitely pumped up.
There's a fair shot that that's the guy the Chargers want above all.
Yeah.
They're hoping that guy falls. So he was stoic in his response.
Interesting.
So I was like, Good on you, dude. Well done, sir. Well done. I mean, here's the thing, like, actions speak louder than words to me. And it is well known by insiders at the building that they tried very hard to make something happen for Andrews.
Yeah.
Like, it is public somewhat knowledge. Beat reporters did put out there that the Chargers, like, where did they strike out in free agency? And they end up signing Conklin, okay? So it's not that they didn't, it's not that they completely struck out.
Yeah,
but that was an area they were trying hard.
I mean, they were trying to get a top 2 tight end, and they got an average tight end, which is an upgrade to their below average tight end play.
Yeah. I mean, they just don't want to be fucked going into the draft.
Right. But it's not, we have Travis Kelce, we don't need a tight end in the draft situation.
Yeah. So
Far cry from that. That's like the Patriots saying they signed Diggs, they're not going to draft a wide receiver. They're still going to draft a wide receiver somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
Maybe late, take a flyer on somebody, but like, of course, the argument against that is they got a bunch of late round, like, flyer wide receiver picks in the room currently on the roster. None of them are any good.
So, and then the other, he did, you know, players that are already on the team, he did talk about. Apparently, they're really fired up about Becton's pass pro skills. He's definitely the right guard. So, in case there was any kind of question, like whether he was going to have to win the right guard job spot or not, like that was definitely put to rest by Harbaugh's interview. Like, Harbaugh's really fired up about, he's like, dude, 6'8" Becton next to 6'8" Alt. The size and the length those guys have, like, he's like, the right side of our line is, it might be the biggest in the NFL. There's 700 pounds over there, dude.
It's crazy.
Like a bigger, there might not be a bigger duo of two guys standing next to each other. By the way, Becton's got 40 pounds on Alt, okay? He's a big boy. Alt's very lean, kind of, for his size. I kind of can't wait for Alt to put some pounds on, dude. Actually. He doesn't have that man weight on him yet.
Yeah, I mean, this is usually the off season.
Yeah, he's a boy. Becton's got man weight. Yeah, like he got drafted a couple years before Alt, so he's been in the league a couple years. He's got that man weight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Alt,
it's like that. Those first 2 years in the NFL is when you.
I think they add a good 20 pounds.
When you change.
Absolutely. Not necessarily fat, but bulk. You know, like we're gonna beef you up. Get you beefy. So that's set. And then, so Ortiz had leaked the Zion thing at like the combine. That Zion Johnson, our left guard, they may be trying him at center. He kind of said it kind of off the cuff. You know, we're giving Zion some reps at center. You know?
Yeah.
Seeing if he can do that.
I don't think that's a surprise to anybody, though.
Harbaugh, when he was asked about it, they're not just testing it out. Like, it almost seemed to, my impression was that, like, the plan is that Zion will be the starting center. Even though they signed James, who is a center, like, it's between Zion and James. And Bozeman is just the paid veteran backup. But Zion, it's not a light test. Like, that is bona fide plan right there. Which means I don't think there's, if they have that mentality, I think that relates to the draft, and that maybe they're not as dead set on getting somebody that has actual center experience.
Yeah.
They may be more focused on, like, we need a left guard, you know? We need a badass left guard.
Yeah. Then they don't need to take one of the center guards.
I mean, we don't know. Those guys are in the building. They see what Zion can do. Zion might be telling them, like, oh, I'm the fucking center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, or it's, you're going to learn how to play center right now, and then whoever we end up with in the draft, whether they're a pure center or a pure guard, you're just going to play the other one.
Yeah, to me, the biggest position of need was the center in this draft.
But that was assuming Zion was playing guard, right?
We know Zion can play left guard.
Right, because he has been.
And not horribly. You know, that was kind of assuming that, like, oh, they're dabbling with this Zion at center experiment. So really the biggest need is, like, we need a lockdown center.
Well, and the center play last year was bad.
Yes.
Was the worst position on the line. So they...
Arguably, yes.
And then probably the next weakest is Zion at left guard. So
yes.
So you're like, we're gonna get another guy, and whether it's a center or a guard, you have to play the other one.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So learn how to play center.
So that was kind of changed my impression of things surrounding the center left guard positions on the line. It looks to me like they are not dabbling with Zion as center. It almost sounds as if center is Zion's job to lose. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, they're not saying it, but that means he's not going to be the left guard. They may be like, you don't work at left guard, bro. Like, you're either becoming a center or you're sitting on the bench.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's not big enough to be guard. Maybe they want.
That might be a thing too, because he is the smallest member of that line.
Yeah.
And I mean, they want Slater to be the smallest member of that line. And Slater's not a small dude. He's a tackle.
Right.
He's not a massive tackle, but he's a tackle. He's not a guard, you know?
You know what I heard?
What did you hear?
A quick plan for the Patriots
Yes.
was
Spill the beans.
to draft Campbell.
Huh?
If they draft Campbell at
Uh-oh.
4
Uh-oh.
and he doesn't work as a tackle, because that's like the knock on him, is that maybe he's not big enough to play tackle and
Yeah.
he ends up being a guard.
Yeah.
That's why he's like arguably not a top 10 pick, is for that risk. Then you took
Yeah,
a guard.
his
then
arms.
You took a guard. In
He's got the
top 10.
arm thing. It's the same thing that they said with Rashawn Slater. His arms aren't quite
Right.
long enough. They don't like his arm length.
It's like if you take a tackle in the top 10, even if he's an average tackle, that's fine because you got a tackle. But if you take a guard in the top 10, he better be John Hanna. Like,
Agreed. Yeah, draft position on
even-
guards.
And even then, it's like not worth it.
It's offensive line wise. You're not taking interior O linemen in the top 15 of the first round. That is
So-
that's like shocking. Those
So that's the knock against him. Even though he's going to be a great offensive lineman.
yeah, maybe he's a guard.
So if they take him and they play him at tackle this year because they got to find out. And if he works out, great, awesome. If he doesn't, they move him to guard and they give the bag to Rashawn Slater.
Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. You wish. Yeah, that's just because
He's an
he's
unrestricted free agent.
yeah,
this year.
that's just no, the chart yeah. That's never happening. It's never going to happen. When asked, you know, just so you can douse those Patriot flames. I mean, Ortiz has been asked about Slater, of course. Like, when are you going to get that contract done? And I mean, Ortiz just kind of looks at him like, dude, it's getting done. Like, everybody knows Rashawn's going to get the bag. You wish.
I do wish.
He's a fantastic tackle. If the Chargers and Ortiz somehow let Rashawn out of the building, oh man, dude, I don't know. The bolt might catch on fire. I would lose complete faith in this organization. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it would be like, oh my God. Like, you can't. You've got an elite top 3 tackle. Like, they're going to make him the highest paid tackle in the league. That just goes, because that's what's expected. That's what he's earned
Right.
at this point. It's like, you just got to, that's what his agent's going to be gunning for. Like, hey, make it. And that is a thing they want to be able to say to their client, like, hey, you're the highest paid fucking tackle in the NFL now, dude. How's it feel? But there's not a comment, like, especially the guys that kind of have access to the Chargers. Like, the sentiment in the building is like, that's just getting done. There's no reservations about that. But boy, dude, that would be line up Campbell next to Slater. Woo! Yeah, now you got it. Now you got us, dude.
And they still have Owenu as
That
the
side
other
of your
guard.
line would be aces. That'd be a hell of a tandem right there. I mean, you know what? Okay. Who's the top 10 picks in the draft? What are they?
It's Titans, Browns, Giants, Patriots,
What are the top 10 picks in the draft?
Raiders.
So
Jags.
you've got the Titans, most likely taking Cam.
Yeah, all signs are pointing to that.
You got Cleveland. I mean, as bad as they need a quarterback,
And they need a quarterback bad. It just
I hear
sounds
they're
like-
not even talking to Shedeur Sanders.
it
Like, I'm
just
seeing
sounds like-
nothing.
it sounds like nobody wants Shedeur.
I'm seeing nothing with the
Nobody-
Browns and Shedeur Sanders.
The way the Browns are acting, the way the Giants are acting, the way, like nobody wants Shedeur.
Well,
It's
I
gonna
would
be
have
one of those where he's like
I
waiting,
would've-
in,
I
the,
would've
waiting
s-
in the green room for like half the first
I
round.
would have said that last week and agreed. I was listening to Rich Eisen this morning.
Maybe even like another quarterback goes ahead of him, kind of thing. Like I don't know. It's getting
I
weird.
don't think you're wrong about that. That's a possibility, man. That really is.
One of
I mean,
those
that's
awkward situations.
That's kind of where I'm going with this. Is like, so there's been some insider pushback on the whole Shedeur Sanders is, you know, might not get drafted in the top 10 kind of thing.
Yeah.
A lot of the insiders are like, no, dude. A lot of their specific words is that a lot of clubs actually do feel Shedeur Sanders is a franchise level quarterback, including the Giants. But for whatever reason, I've heard nothing about the Browns feeling that way.
Right. And they even seem to really want Penn State guys.
I mean, I read an article, there was an article in The Athletic, I think, about the owner of the Browns, Haslam. Yeah, it was in The Athletic. Like, yeah, boy, we thought Watson was our guy, and holy shit did we miss on that, you know?
Yeah.
You know how many picks they fucking leveraged out?
Well, and guaranteed money.
Dude, it was like 6 picks, man.
I know.
On top of the guaranteed money. I'm talking 3 first rounds. Like, it was first rounds for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years of first rounds. Holy shit, man. And they shelled out that guaranteed. God, like, talk about a swing and a miss, man. That's gonna be the biggest swing and miss of the 20th century. Pretty much. Name a bigger miss.
You can't. Not right now.
Like, I mean, here's how bad it is. The Broncos shelling out what they traded to get fucking Wilson.
Yeah.
And they got shellacked on that one. And that was a horrific contract. But compared to Deshaun Watson, like, it's like half. Like, like, it is an astronomical bust. They're still going to be dealing with the carnage, I think, until 2026, man. So they might be like, dude, we can't play high risk with a QB here. As bad as we need one,
Yeah. Well, and I mean they
we
signed,
can't whiff on our first round, on our like number 3 overall or 2. Like, we cannot whiff on this.
Well, it's also like if you're gonna, you know, he's gonna be there at 2. It's not like a question. You're at 2.
So
You get to decide who you're gonna take. And if you know you're gonna take him, you don't sign 2 veteran quarterbacks. Like You don't go sign the veterans that they signed.
Well, I mean, if I'm the GM there, I'm going. We team up Abdul Carter with Myles Garrett, which is just going to, I mean, that's going to terrorize. It's going to make your defense really good.
It is.
Really, really good. And they have a good defensive coordinator, by the way. What's his name over there? Schwartz. Like, that's not a bad. So, you know, we lean into our defense here. We bring in some kind of a veteran. Who did they have at QB? They let one dude leave.
I mean, they let Winston go, right? They had Winston, and now
Yeah, what's his name? Got signed by the Giants. Without going down that tangent here, which we'll go down. Getting back to the top 10 picks here. So Cleveland takes Abdul Carter.
It just looks like they're talking about him. Like
Yeah.
they're going to take him.
Cleveland takes Abdul Carter.
And then it's up to the Giants to either take Hunter or Shador.
Look, then you got the Giants and the Jags. Well, the Jags, they'll stick with Trevor. I think the Raiders drafting Shador is not out of the question here. If Shador is there,
But the Raiders just got
Geno, but Geno's not the future, bro. And here's the thing, Pete Carroll, I read a really good article on Pete Carroll, actually. Pete Carroll is a big believer in creating competition on the team.
Oh, and the other thing about the Browns is that what's his name who went from the Vikings to the Falcons? Quarterback.
Kirk Cousins.
Who then got Penixed. He doesn't want to get Penixed again, so he's waiting till after the draft to sign with somebody. But it's like sounding like it's almost a done deal. He's going to go to Cleveland.
I could see that. I could see that.
So then they have a solid team.
Then they can overspend on Cousins.
Yeah.
Cousins is going to get the bag again.
Again. He'd be the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL.
The best paid worst quarterback in the history of the NFL. That guy knows how to fleece a team, man. Holy shit. And I mean, that's not a knock on Kirk, okay? I don't think Kirk's the worst Look, as far as like veteran QBs that know what the fuck they're doing back there, like, you could do far worse starting Kirk Cousins, okay? He's a starter.
Yeah.
He's not a backup. I think that debate's been settled.
I mean,
Kirk is not a backup.
The only risk is that he's getting older. He
Yeah.
did fall off a little bit of a cliff last year.
Absolutely.
But you could say that that's just new team, new program thing. But he's just going to go join a new team again. So like,
Yeah, exactly.
or is it that he's getting old and quarterbacks do fall off quick when they start falling off?
It's hey dude, like if you're desperate for a quarterback, like beggars can't be choosers.
Right.
You better think. I don't know what the fuck Pittsburgh's gonna do. Like the fact that Rodgers isn't signed is fucking pretty wild to me. Ooh, boy, the Steelers would love Cousins.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised they're not in talks.
There's got to be calls. Wait, but Cousins has like a no trade, right?
I'm pretty sure he's still under contract with the Falcons.
Yeah, he's under contract, but I don't think the Falcons can trade him. Pretty sure there's like a no trade in his.
I mean, no trades are just so that the player can get what he wants. Say yay or nay to a trade.
They have like veto rights,
Yeah.
right?
Like, no, I don't want to go to Jacksonville.
Some of these mock drafts are. So wait, let's finish here. Raiders. I definitely could see the Raiders take Shedeur. To compete with Geno. Geno wins the job. Shedeur can like sit and learn from a veteran. But they want to know, they need their quarterback of the future. There's only one place to get that guy usually. You know?
Yeah.
So
You either get a veteran for $50 million
yeah.
or you draft.
I could see the Raiders kind of pulling a Falcons move here. And by the way, the Falcons like surprised everyone last year, and everybody was like, this is crazy, but guess who's laughing now? Like, we've got 2 starting quarterbacks.
Oh, by drafting Penix in
Yes.
the top 10?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Look who's laughing now. You were laughing at us, and now who wants Kirk Cousins? All of you. So, sit on it, dude. I might just let the camera run, dude. Let's see how long I can record. That's a thing too. It's like, how long, how much battery life, you know?
Right.
I don't. Then you got the Jets right behind the Raiders. There's no way Shedeur gets past the Raiders and the Jets. If Shedeur gets past the Giants, which he might not.
So then I read a thing about the Giants, and yeah, they need a quarterback of the future, like everybody.
Yeah.
They obviously signed some veterans, but the reason they wouldn't take Shedeur is one, that they're not sold on Shedeur, but two, that the GM and coach like need to win now to save their job. And they need a guy who can help them win
now
7 games next year instead of 4 games.
Yes.
Like, you can start Shedeur and you're going to win 3 games, but maybe the next year you win 10 games, but they already lost their job.
They got Wilson and what's his name. They're going to start one of those guys and try and win 7 games.
Right.
Period.
So that they can say we're better than we were the year before.
I mean, God dang it. Who is that QB I'm talking about here? Jameis Winston.
Yeah, they signed Winston and Wilson.
You know, they were talking about this too. Here's the thing. Winston, here's the problem with Winston. Like, he can throw a great ball, but he's way too risky, man. Like, he throws balls that, you know?
Well, his consistency isn't there.
Like, yeah, his picks, like, he doesn't know how to be a responsible QB.
When he's on, he's awesome. But then he
Well,
does something crazy.
So here's the thing, though. Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Jameis Winston with that receiver,
Neighbors.
Neighbors is a home run hitter.
Right.
Like, if you've got a high risk quarterback that will just throw it up, if there was a guy in one of the few receivers in the league that you're going to do that with, there's a strong argument to be made that Neighbors is the guy. Like, it could be a dangerous combo because Winston don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like, he'll just throw that ball up.
Well, and yeah, if they take Hunter and put him on the other side of Neighbors,
That's where I'm going with it. That's exactly where I'm going with it.
and then their argument is it doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball.
That's
like-
exactly where I'm going with it. Like, I really think the Giants taking Travis, like, that actually makes a shit ton of sense, considering their QB position. You know,
Yeah.
considering their QB position and the management position, like, absolutely. Like, let's lean into what we got here. Matter of fact, I mean, if I'm the Giants, like, we're starting Jameis Winston. Let's go Riverboat, dude. Let's see. I mean, I don't know, maybe Wilson. Maybe you go low risk in the beginning of the season, and if Wilson's not getting it done, okay, fuck it. Throw Winston in there.
I mean, at the end of the Broncos, Wilson was doing the same kind of stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, so to me, yeah, Hunter actually makes a ton of sense for the Giants. Like, a ton.
Yeah.
So now you got the Titans taking a QB, you got the Browns going Abdul Carter, Giants are going to take Hunter. You're hoping that as a Patriots fan because you don't even want to be in that fucking position.
I mean, I've warmed up to taking Hunter and not taking a tackle just because they're starting to say now that if he was in last year's draft with Harrison and Neighbors,
He's in there.
he's still in there. Like, they would be talking about which one was going to go first.
Plus he's got CB capability.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Plus,
that's
like, if they're also like, yeah, he's just going to play receiver, and then on the last drive of the game, like, you go cover Chase. You know, like,
yeah.
you're not going to play the rest of the game on defense, but like, when it comes down to the last two plays,
So, I really see, either way, I see Hunter being used in this respect. He's a lockdown corner. He's going to be out there on cornerback reps every down. And then you use him as your Z receiver. So when you put three wideouts out there, he's the third wideout. And then he creates problems for the defense because it's like, oh, shit. But you don't use a Z on every play. You know? That way you keep his snaps low, his snap count, you know? Because if he's going to be playing every down on defense, like, that's a lot of snaps.
right.
You got to limit his snaps somewhere. So Giants, Jags. So Shadour's there for the Raiders.
Yeah.
This list is not right. Because it's not listing the Patriots.
But yeah,
Browns, Giants. Okay, Patriots at number 4.
the way the Patriots are talking, like, and the way Vrabel and Wolf have talked, about Hunter. Like, if he's on the board, that pick's gonna take 10 seconds. They're just gonna.
So here's my point. If Shedeur is still on the board, all the way down
at the Raiders, or the Raiders are 6, right?
to the Patriots,
Patriots are 4. They're not going to take Shedeur.
the Raiders could definitely take a quarterback. Shedeur will be there. The Jets really need a quarterback. They got Fields, dude. I could see the Jets moving up to try and get Shedeur. Absolutely. Even though it's the Patriots they'd have to trade with, and the Patriots would fucking fleece them. And they'll get their tackle.
I mean, that would be awesome. If they could say, the Raiders are going to take Shedeur. So if you want him...
I don't know, man. I mean, I think that's that's not just like I mean, because here we are. We're vetting it out right now. Like,
Right.
that makes a lot of sense to me.
We all assumed that he was just going to go number 3.
Yeah,
But
no,
if he
I don't
doesn't,
think that's happening, man.
He's
I really
still there
don't.
for the Patriots. Yeah,
Absolutely. The Patriots don't fucking need him.
Right.
So who's going to trade up and get him? You got
know-
the Jets at 7, the Panthers at 8, the Saints at 9. I could see the Saints move up. And then you got the Bears at 10. So Saints, to me, Saints and Jets, bro.
That would be a dream draft.
Shedeur's there.
If the Patriots can swap top 10 picks and get an extra second round.
I'm fucking calling it now.
Get an extra like second or third round pick out of it and still get the tackle.
I'm calling it now. I'm telling you. I don't think that, like, to move back and get your tackle and then. Let's look at the Jets' picks in this draft.
Because that's what I've always wanted. I just didn't think it was possible because
What are the Jets' picks in the 2025
Giants were just
draft?
going to take the QB. But now that they've signed these QBs,
Okay, the Jets have a total of 8 picks. So they've got a second round, the 10th pick in the second round.
right.
Which, by the way, those second round picks this year are kind of worth more than previous years, okay? There's going to be so many fucking good fucking defensive players available in that second round, man. Everybody wants it. Like, I'm talking like elite. At the top of the second round, there's going to be very elite defenders. You're going to get a first round interior, like defensive lineman,
Yeah.
at the top of the second round. If you can get an extra second round, that's huge. Huge. There's going to be an elite edge rusher that falls into the top of the second round. Like, you don't think Vrabel's like just licking his chops at that? Like, oh, dude, we're going to get our tackle and we're going to get an elite defensive lineman. You know? Absolutely. So the Jets have a second round. And it makes all the sense in the world for them to do it. Saints picks in the 2025 NFL draft. Let's look at the Saints here. Oh, wow, dude. Hey, the Saints have 2 number 3s. That's juicy. You could get a second and a third from the Saints. Move back to 10, and then you're taking Membo or Campbell. Either one, you're aces.
Yeah.
Like if you've got you probably have a similar draft grade on those guys. Like I'm
do.
taking either one.
They do. It's
Absolutely.
Campbell's dimensions versus Membo having to switch sides.
Yeah.
Like,
And the Saints are in that similar position. Again, like the Raiders, if I'm the Saints or the Jets, we got to get in front of the Raiders if we want Shedeur.
right. Yeah, and that's what you're saying is
Like you got to get in front of the Raiders. Because the Raiders, I could, there's no way I'm a GM of one of those organizations and I'm going like, oh, the Raiders are not taking a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is so Raiders.
he is.
Like if we've learned anything about the Raiders organization, like holy shit. You got Tom Brady over there.
If anything, Tom Brady would be the one to be like, no, we're not doing that.
And it makes all the sense too, by the way. The Raiders aren't going to move up because they have Geno. They wouldn't move up in front of the Patriots
Right.
to try and get Shedeur
Well, they know they don't
because
need
they're not fucked.
They also don't need they know they're not, the Patriots aren't going to take Shedeur. They don't have to go in front of them.
Yeah, like the Raiders are in a position where if Shedeur falls to them, oh yeah, we'll take Shedeur. But if they don't, they're not like, oh fuck, our fucking whole draft is fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just not in that position because they have Geno. They can wait till next year. I don't know, man. I think that's a pretty likely scenario. I don't, it's not,
I would love that.
it's not a crazy scenario at all.
I'm kind of surprised I haven't heard that from the Patriots podcast. Like somebody throwing
hey,
that out.
that's why we're doing, we're the Wake and Bake podcast, dude. We come up with like prophetic fucking information here.
Or they're like, this is what we're really going to do.
Nobody's talking about
They're like,
this.
don't fucking say it on the
Don't
podcast.
fucking talk about
you're
it.
on
Oh.
our team.
Yeah. Don't talk about this. But it makes all the sense in the world to me.
Yeah.
And I
also,
don't know
like,
those organizations extremely
the
well,
whole
but
thing is like they want playmakers. Their offense is so bad. They need an infusion of talent. Yada yada yada. And I get that. But Drake May had to play his rookie year last year with maybe a bunch of 3 receivers and not a number 1. But his line was so bad. Like, you don't know where the connection is of quarterback and receiver until there's a pocket.
if you want to rebuild an organization, like getting an extra second and third in this draft, and then taking the best tackle at number 10, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're getting defensive starters, O-line starter, like on those second and third rounds.
And I'm not saying they got Diggs and their receiver woes are over. What I'm saying is, if they get an offensive line, Drake May makes that offense so much better that people will then want to go there.
I mean, it's just the position. I mean, they have to be shopping the shit out of the position. But I mean, again, like I think the conditions are ripe for the Saints and the Jets to do it. It makes sense for them to do it. Total sense. Total sense. And that's just Shedeur. This is just the top 10. I also think, 4 quarterbacks are going in the top 20. Steelers are taking a QB. And here's the thing, the Jets and Saints, Like, say somebody does take Shedeur. I don't know that I see the Jets and Saints moving up to grab somebody like Dart
Right.
or Milrow. I do think Milrow and Dart are the next guys. For sure. That seems to be the consensus, you know, top 4 QBs here. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Man. Boy, that is the, no, man, that's what you're watching, buddy. If the Giants take Hunter, they've got to. They've got to take Hunter.
I mean, like I said, I've warmed up to the Patriots taking Hunter if he's there a lot more than I was a few weeks ago.
Well, because, I mean, a lot of the chatter is like, oh, Patriots have to take Hunter. And he's a great player.
But I do still want...
I mean, dude, we dealt with this last season, dude. Everybody, oh, you got to take Neighbors.
Right, the Chargers could take Neighbors or all.
Neighbors, oh. Yeah. Well, everybody was like, which wideout? Neighbors, Harrison, ooh, MJH. Like, we got to take these guys. Oh, that was the chatter. Yeah. And then a few experts were going, no, dude, Chargers are taking Joe Alt. It was like Trevor Sikkema from the, he's got a podcast called Stock Market. It's like a football stock market. He's got a really good podcast, by the way. Trevor Sikkema. I remember where I was when I heard, because all the chatter going into the draft, like, was all about Neighbors and Odunes and Marvin Harrison. Everybody was talking about that. And then Trevor Sikkema, who works for, I think he worked for PFF or still does, was like, no, the Chargers are taking Joe Alt. Okay? Get over it. I'm just telling you, they're taking Joe Alt. Charger fans are like, I don't believe you. Bullshit.
Morning.
How much time we at?
Right. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you. Can I please just have a...
I think we went like an hour and 19 minutes. That's it for the first Wake and Bake. Yeah.
16 ounce or 24 ounce?
24.